Meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order on Tuesday, April 28th, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. via teleconference.
And understanding, which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the
flag
of the United States
of
of
the
America
United States of America
and
and
to the republic
for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. As president of the Board of Aldermen, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-4, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are utilizing WebEx through the city's IT department for this electronic meeting. All members of the Board of Aldermen have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen to this meeting through dialing the following number: 515-604-9094 and using the access code 355-211-880. The public may also view this meeting on Comcast Channel 19. B, providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting through public postings. Instructions have also been provided on the City of Nashua's website at nashuanh.gov and publicly noticed at City Hall. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anyone has a problem accessing the meeting via phone or Channel 99, please call 603-821-2049 and they will help you connect. D, adjourning the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting via the methods mentioned above, the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during the meeting, which is required under the right to know law. And please also let us know whether you can hear everyone. Will the clerk call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you. I am alone and I can hear you.
Alderman Clee.
Yes, I'm alone at the moment. My husband and two greyhounds are in the house with me and could at any time come in. I can hear perfectly. Thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly.
I am here. I am alone currently, and I can hear everybody.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, I can hear everyone. I'm alone and I'm following social distancing in accordance with the government's order.
Alderman Karen.
Yes, I am here. I am alone and I can hear everyone, and I'm doing social distancing.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes, I am here. I am participating via telephone. I can hear everyone, and I am following the governor's executive order.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes, I'm here. I'm practicing social distancing and I'm participating via WebEx, and I am alone.
Alderman Tenza.
I'm here. I'm alone, and I can hear everyone. Thank you.
Alderwoman Lou.
I'm here. I'm alone. I can hear everyone. Thank you.
Alderman Jettie.
I'm here. I'm alone. I can hear everyone, and I'm obeying the governor's order to stay home.
Alderman Schmidt.
I can hear you all. I'm the only human in the room, and I'm following the CDC guidelines.
Alderman Laws.
I'm alone, and I'm very impressed at how good everyone's gotten at this.
Alderman Cleaver.
I'm here, I'm alone, and I'm practicing social distancing.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
I'm here, I'm alone, and I am practicing social distancing.
And Wilshire.
I am here, I am alone, and I am home per the governor's order.
You have 15 in attendance.
Thank you. Also in attendance is Mayor Donchis, Corporation Counsel Steve Bolton. And who else do I see out there? I see Deputy Chief Testaverde. Those are the only people I can see. Mayor, do you wish to address the board this evening?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I want to speak with you about a few things. First is and most immediate, is a communication on your desk from Director Bobby Bagley regarding a grant that or a program we're going to undertake with the CDC Center for Disease Control Foundation. The foundation is a nonprofit corporation that is associated with the Center for Disease Control. Unfortunately for us, as a result of the very good work that the health department has been doing, the CDC Foundation has agreed to provide at no cost to us 4 employees to help with the COVID-19 crisis. 2 of these would work directly with the health department, 1 would work for emergency management, and 1 would serve as a public information person. We'd really like to get started with this. There is no cost to the city whatsoever, but we need to get this approved by the Board of Aldermen so that we can begin the hiring process. The CDC and the city will jointly interview people locally here and hire the 4 people as soon as we can. Again, no cost to the city. So, Madam President, I ask that the board suspend the rules, accept the communication, and approve the agreement or the arrangement with the CDC Foundation. Of course, the health department is still very active with respect to the COVID-19 crisis. They're working still 7 days a week. There are now 178 cases that have been documented in Nashua. 100 have recovered these numbers are as of this morning. So there are about, unfortunately, tragically, 8 people have died. And that leaves 60 active cases. Now, in addition to working with the people who have tested positive, the health department traces all of the contacts, traces the contacts that each of these patients who's tested positive has had over the days before their symptoms developed to determine who else might have been exposed to the disease. So they're following right now 113 contacts. But testing is increasing. The state is committed to a goal of 1,500 tests a day. They are at least coming somewhat, either achieving that or coming somewhat close to it. And therefore, the health department has been allocated more tests by the state DHHS, Department of Health and Human Services. Our health department conducted 151 tests last week. Most people tested negative, but there were a few positive tests. Also, they will be testing more people late this week and early next week. So if anyone believes that they meet the criteria to be tested, which have been loosened, you need to call the COVID-19 hotline, which is 589-3456. Pretty easy to remember. So again, I do ask that you accept the communication, place it on file, and approve the arrangement with the CDC Foundation. Another COVID-19 related piece of legislation, which is on the agenda, is R-20-029. This has been reviewed in committee, and we would, through this legislation, create a COVID-19 impact fund of an amount in about $1,200,000. This will be comprised of community development block grant funds and another source of federal money, and would be used to provide loans, smaller loans, averaging $25,000 to small businesses in Nashua who are going to need to try to recover once the economy begins to reopen, and also grants in the same amount, that same range, to the nonprofits, of course, many of whom are struggling because of the impact of inability to fundraise and things like that. So I ask that you favorably act on the COVID-19 Impact Fund, which is so that our small business sector all over the city, including downtown, is going to be struggling. And after the COVID-19 crisis, after it passes to some degree, and after we begin to reopen the economy, for any small business that needs to close for several months, that is a huge hit. So I think we need to do anything we possibly can to jumpstart these businesses, bring money in, bring customers to them. And this COVID-19 Impact Fund is one step that we can take in that direction. More briefly, Madam President, it's a fairly significant item in size, R-20-025. This is a compactor at the landfill. It's a Caterpillar machine. The machine has worn out and is not functioning properly. We need this for compacting at the landfill. And the choice was between buying a new compactor at $1 million or reconditioning, rebuilding basically from the frame up the existing Caterpillar compactor for a cost of $500,000, one half the cost. The Board of Public Works is recommending that we go forward with the rebuild. It really creates a machine as good as new at half the cost. That's been recommended by the committee. So again, I ask that you consider that positively. Also, sponsored by Alderwoman Karen, was $55,000 for the senior center. We've done that every year, help them with their capital improvements over there, the condition of the building, which we own. And maybe Alderwoman Karen will speak to that. And finally, Madam President, there's an item that you should not act on tonight, which is R-20-028, having to do with the School Street parking lot. That still needs a planning board recommendation, which we have not yet received. Various aldermen on the budget committee where, Madam President, you referred that, have questions. We need to answer some legal issues raised by Alderman Jetty and provide more information, do more work on that. So I do ask that you refer that back to committee. That's all I have, Madam President, other than to wish everybody well. Please wash your hands frequently, and I know you're all doing that. Wear masks in public. We're still trying, as much as we have cabin fever, as difficult as it is not to see each other in these meetings, we still need to exercise the social distancing and maintain the steps which have helped us contain the spread of the virus here in Nashville. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Any responses to the remarks of the mayor? I can't see everybody. Any responses? Okay. Recognition period.
There is none.
Reading minutes of previous meetings. There being no objection, I'll declare the minutes of the Board of Aldermen meeting of April 14th, 2020 accepted, placed on file, and the reading suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
Communication from Dan Hudson, City Engineer, regarding review of petition for street discontinuance for a portion of Palm Street.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communication and place it on file. There being no objection, I suspend the rules to allow for the introduction of a communication that was received after the agenda was prepared.
Communication has been received from Stephanie Olet, Opportunity Networks, in support of Resolution R 2029, relative to accepting CDBG funding under the 2020 CARE Act, amending the FY 2020 HUD Annual Action Plan to reprogram existing CDBG funding and create a COVID-19 impact program.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communication and place it on file. Period for public comment relative to items expected to be acted upon this evening.
Yes, a communication from Lori Ortolano has been addressed and received to the Board of Aldermen and Budget Review Committee regarding lack of communication from both boards with respect to staffing and manpower in city government.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communication and place it on file. The public has access to contemporaneously listen into this meeting through dialing the following number, 515-604-9094, and using the access code 355-211-880. The public may also view this meeting on Comcast Channel 99. If anyone has a problem accessing the meeting via phone or Channel 99, please call 603-821-2049 and they will help you connect. You may also submit your comments via email, which will be accepted and placed on file with the minutes of the meeting. Please email your comments to boa@nashua.nh.gov. Communications requiring final approval.
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donches regarding contract award for FY21 unleaded fuel contract, City of Nashua, multi-year contract in an estimated amount of $337,986 to Global Montella Group Corp. 1 year with a 1-year extension.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to award FY21 unleaded fuel contract, a multi-year contract, in an estimated amount of $337,986 to Global Montella Group Corp. 1 year with a 1-year extension available by roll call.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wiltshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And that motion carries.
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donchis regarding contract award for 2019 CIPP program, change order 2, in the amount of $1,500,000 to Kenyon Pipeline Inspection.
Alderwoman Harriet Gathright.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to award the 2019 SIP program contract, change order 2, in the amount of $1,500,000 to Kenyon Pipeline Inspection by roll call.
Motion is to award the contract in the amount of $1.5 million to Kenyon Pipeline Inspection. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Lou.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I just have a couple of questions about this. Went back to the Finance Committee notes and couldn't find the details on this award. And is there anyone here from the to answer the question? Anyone from the DPW or the Streets Department?
No.
Okay.
Alderman O'Brien is raising his hand. He might know something if you have a question.
I'll ask
or you can ask a question to the mayor if you prefer.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam President. And I could defer to the mayor as well, but as being the liaison to the Public Works Department, granted, this is, $1.5 million, but what we're talking about is the inspection of sewer lines that many in our city are ancient. And what this company will do, will come in and will recoat those sewer lines, and thus increasing the longevity. Now, if we do not do this and the sewer line fails, besides creating the usual mess that would incur, it would be much, much more money. And this is the economic value to the taxpayers. Besides digging up our streets and replacing these lines, we'll get several more years out of our sewer system by coating these particular pipes.
Alderwoman Lou, did you have another specific question on this?
Yes, thank you, Alderman O'Brien. I actually had a specific question. My question was just about this will, I think in the meeting we learned that this will cover 10 miles. And I was just concerned or confused because back in 2019 when we hired Kenyon, we paid them twice as much to do 4 miles. So my question is, how did that, have they reduced their price by 50%, or is it actually 5 miles, fewer miles that we're doing? So if I'm not clear, last year we approved $2 million to do 4 miles. But my understanding is this year we're going to approve a little over $1 million to do 10 miles. And I just wanted to be certain I understood that.
Would you like me to answer that, Madam President?
Yes, Mayor, please.
Well, there are two ways that the sewers get replaced. Number one, when a sewer is in very bad shape, you have to dig it up and replace, go into the ground, down to the sewer and replace the line. That is a very expensive proposition, is almost 10 times the cost of the lining. So last year there was more replacement and some lining. So the cost was more for a shorter distance. This year the plan is to line at 10 miles. Of course, it all depends on what they see when they get in there. Section and then lining. But if they find something really bad, they might have to do something different. But the estimate is that for this money, they will be able to inspect and line. And what they do is they put a plastic pipe inside the sewer. They should be able to, the estimate amount is the condition.
Alderman Clee. I'm sorry, Alderman Lou, did you have a further question?
Thank you. I'm sorry, the sound went out, but that's okay. My review of those meetings notes, minutes were that it was the CIPP work that was being done, and I just wanted to be, certain that figures were right. But thank you, Mayor Dodges.
Alderman Clee.
Yes, I just wanted to comment that during that meeting when they were there, and I remember asking them very specific questions about, did this contract also include some of the sewer work that was happening? Because I know on Orange Street they're really digging it up and replacing it, and this particular one was just for the lining. I think some of last year's they did kind of incorporate the lining, and they did very little lining comparative to what they're doing this year. I think that they did do a lot more sewer work, but I can't be 100% sure. And I'm just commenting to Alderwoman Lou. I do remember that I asked him very specifically. So I know this bill is this particular 1.5 is only for lining, no additional sewage work. They may find something when they got in there, but it was just going to be for sewage work. I mean lining. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Anyone else? Alderman Jettie.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that, both this last time when the mayor spoke and when he was making his remarks earlier, there are times when he cuts out and I couldn't hear him. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing the same thing, but
Yeah, I think we all are. I think the mayor cut out twice so far, so I'm not sure if that's something on his end or. Yeah, I experienced the same thing, so we'll move forward and hope that clears up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any discussion on this motion to award the contract to Kenyon Pipeline? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And that motion carries.
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donches regarding contract award for turbine, generator, and controls for Jackson Falls turbine replacement in the amount of $1,271,700 to Mayville Americas, Inc.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to award the contract for the turbine generating controls for Jackson Falls turbine replacement, the amount of $1,271,000 to Mayville Americas Incorporated by roll call.
Motion is to award the contract by roll call. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
We have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And that motion carries. There being no objection, I will suspend the rules to allow for an introduction of a communication that was received after the agenda was prepared.
A communication has been received from Bobby Bagley, Director of the Division of Public Health and Community Services, regarding CDC Foundation.
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to accept by roll call, place on file, and award, approve the arrangement with CDC Foundation to hire 2 public health nurses, 1 communication specialist, and 1 emergency management coordinator. The CDC Foundation will provide compensation and benefits for the temporary employees without any additional cost to the City of Nashville.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Anyone? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And that motion carries. Petitions.
There are none.
Nominations, appointments, and elections.
None.
Reports of committees. There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the February 26, 2020 Committee on Infrastructure accepted and placed on file. Oh, seems I'm missing a page in my agenda. I'm sorry. I don't have it. Okay.
Madam President,
Hello.
next on the agenda would be the Finance Committee meeting of 4/15/2020.
There being no objection, I will declare the report of the February 15th, 2020 Finance Committee accepted and placed on file.
That is correct.
15.
Madam President, next would be the Budget Review Committee on April 16th, 2020.
There being no objection, I will declare the report of the Budget Review Committee on February 16th, 2020.
April.
Accepted and placed.
April.
Sorry?
April, yeah, April 16th. Mhm.
April 16th, accepted and placed on file. My apologies.
Yes,
What is
and
next?
Madam President, I do have another
Thank
Budget Review Committee, and this date is April 20th, 2020.
You sure it's not February?
Positive.
There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the Budget Review Committee of April 20th, 2020, accepted and placed on file.
Okay. Next, Madam President, if you don't, if there be no objection, would you suspend the rules to allow for the oral report of the Budget Review Committee meeting held last Monday night regarding the proposed resolution R-20-28?
Okay? So moved? Alderman Dowd. Alderman Dowd?
Alderman Dowd.
Here's we lost somebody.
Alderman Dowd seems to be muted.
I'm just following the agenda I have, and there's something else. I don't have anything right here.
You don't have an oral report for last night's Budget Review Committee?
No, but I can tell you that We did have discussion on R20028, and we're waiting things to come back, so we retabled it and not take it up to this evening. Bear with me, we can see what else we covered last night.
It's actually on page 7, and it does say that it was tabled at Budget Review Committee meeting April 27, 2020.
Yep. All right, we also.
Madam President,
Yes.
I don't think that the oral review is necessary because this was tabled, our 2028 was tabled in the committee and is not up for discussion this evening, or at least the mayor didn't want it to come.
Yep, I think you're right.
Obviously, that's up to the board, but.
Relative to the rest of the meeting, we did emergency preparedness, which was reviewed emergency management and citywide communications budget, economic development, parking enforcement, parking operations, the Hunt building. We had a discussion on the status of the Performing Arts Center and the Elm Street property redevelopment.
I'm trying to pull up my agenda on my other computer. Sorry.
And that was pretty much it for last night's budget meeting.
Thank you, Alderman Dowd.
And Madam President, you have one more. With no objections, the Human Affairs Committee of 4/21/2020.
You heard that motion, and I will move to accept and place on file the report of the Human Affairs Committee.
I hope I'm helping you.
Because I lost the page in my agenda.
All right, Madam
Didn't the Vice President just run the meeting until you have your page?
Next is the confirmation of the mayor's appointments.
There are none.
And Madam President, next before us is R20018.
Second reading of resolution R20018 relative to the transfer of $25,000 from Department 194 contingency, account 70100 general contingency, to Department 109 civic and community activities, accounting classification 56 outside agencies, for the purpose of providing funds to the National Association for the Elderly.
Madam President?
Alderman Karen.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for final approval of R-20-018, and I'd like to speak on that, please.
Alderman Karen.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for supporting the proposal to give another $25,000 to the senior center. As I spoke to the budget committee last week, I did ask them if they had a problem with us utilizing some of that money after we put $5,000 away into our reserve account, as we usually do, and also to make sure we have some funds put aside so that we can continue to do professional cleaning of our bathrooms and kitchens throughout the year, and the balance would be utilized for regular operations if needed. If not, we would continue to maintain and upgrade the facility as we have done for the last 5 years.
Thank you, Alderman Karen. Anyone else? Motion to express this for final passage of Resolution 2018. Would the clerk call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Jettie,
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver,
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Guthrie,
Yes.
Alderman Wiltshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And resolution R20-018 is fully adopted.
Second reading of Resolution R 2019, authorizing the city to enter into contracts with Nashua Community College, Revere University, Town of Hudson, Town of Merrimack, and the Plus Company for transit services.
Alderman, you've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Alderwoman Lou.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I wonder whether, considering the stay-at-home orders, is it possible that this contract is going to put us in jeopardy of great expense to the city without having the ridership? Or are the proceeds, or rather are the entities that are, but let me just ask you that question as it is. Thank you.
Well, it's my understanding right now that the transit system isn't operating except for paratransit and senior services. But I'm not sure if that addresses your question or not, but
I do have an answer for this, Madam President.
Mayor, please.
The services provided under this contract are paid for by the towns and entities involved. So we get payment from the town of Hudson, Merrimack, etc. These are very critical revenues because this makes up our matching revenue to qualify us for all of the federal support that the transit system receives. So this particular service will not cost us money, but in fact brings in a vital matching fund.
Alderman Lopez.
In addition to being essential for making sure we have public transportation following the conclusion of this pandemic, the bus company is operating in an on-call status for any Nashuans who need transportation. They're taking historic safety precautions, and they are taking every opportunity to make sure that people are doing it safely, but they are still providing limited transportation as is appropriate in this pandemic to people who don't have another alternative for being transported.
Madam President?
Alderman Clemens.
Thank you. I actually never made the motion, so I'm going to do that now. I would move for final passage of R 2019 by roll call.
Motion is for final passage of Resolution 2019 by roll call. Further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien,
Yes.
Alderman Clee,
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly,
Yes.
Yes.
Alderman Karen,
Yes.
Alderman Clemens,
Yes.
Alderman Lopez,
Yes.
Alderman Tenza,
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Jettie,
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver,
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Guthrie,
Yes.
Alderman Wiltshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And Resolution 2019 is duly adopted.
Second reading of Resolution R 2020, relative to the acceptance and appropriation of $69,566 from the state of New Hampshire Department of Transportation into transit grant activity Federal Transit Authority, FTA, operating grant.
Alderman Clee.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R 2020 by roll call, please.
Motion is for final passage by roll call. Discussion on that motion. Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
We have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And Resolution 2020 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R 2025, relative to the approval of funding for the rebuild of the solid waste cat compactor from the Capital Equipment Reserve Fund, SERF, during fiscal year 2020, in amount not to exceed $500,000.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes, I move for final passage of R 20-025 by roll call, and I'd like to be heard on that.
Alderman Jettie.
So in spite of the title, this has nothing to do with compacting cats at the landfill. As the mayor explained, the compactor is a front-end loader type tractor with large solid steel wheels, which rides over the newly deposited trash at the landfill to compress or compact it. This machine was made by the Caterpillar company, and that's why they call it the Cat. It's an old 1999 machine, which was being used as a backup when the primary compactor was down for maintenance or repairs. It had electrical problems and the engine seized, and it was taken out of service in 2018. Solid Waste has been using a bulldozer as a backup, but a bulldozer doesn't have the required weight for a trash compactor, and it just doesn't work properly. As the mayor explained, the new machine would cost $1 million to replace this one. But Milton Caterpillar Company is offering to refurbish this one for $500,000, and they take it down to the frame, they sandblast it, they repaint it, and rebuild it to a like new status, which will have a 4-year warranty. A new machine only has a 3-year warranty, and they expect that the lifespan of this will be another 10 to 15 years. This machine, this 1999 machine, gave us 20 years of service, and with this refurbishment, it'll give us another 10 to 15 years. So the Board of Public Works recommends that this is the most cost-effective way of replacing that old machine. And it's been vetted and approved by the Finance Committee, the Budget Review Committee, and I ask for your support in adopting this resolution this evening.
Thank you. Further discussion on the motion for final passage of Resolution 20-25? Anyone else? No? Okay. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza,
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Jettie,
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver,
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright,
Yes. Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
Resolution 2025 is duly adopted.
President Wilshire, I'm gonna, if our 2028 was tabled in committee last night, I don't believe it's before the board for a second reading, but I'm gonna yield to you on that decision.
No, I think it was tabled and further action in the budget committee will take place.
Right.
So I'll continue on to the second reading of resolution R 2029.
Yes, please.
Second reading of resolution R 2029, relative to accepting CDBG funding under the 2020 CARES Act, amending the FY 2020 HUD Annual Action Plan to reprogram existing CDBG funding and create a COVID-19 impact program.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to move to amend R 20029 by replacing it with a proposed goldenrod amendment made at the Human Affairs Committee by roll call.
Motion is to amend. Question on that? Questions, anyone? Alderwoman Lou.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. What was the amendment?
Alderwoman Kelly, do you have what the amendment, what was amended?
I'm trying to pull it up.
Okay.
Could you give me just a moment?
Sure.
I don't think it was anything from the actual committee. I think it was just some amendment from the original office in terms of what they were putting in there. Does that sound right, Alderman? President Wilshire?
Yeah, I believe it is. I don't think there was any funding change
No.
or any, no.
Yeah, I think there was like a minor, oh, you know what it was? It was the, we had to amend the citizen participation plan to allow for this to go through and allow for us to allocate it. That's what it was.
That's
Thank
what it
you.
was.
Thank you. I didn't see
Thank
the
you.
part yet. Thank you.
Sorry, I was trying to put my fingers on it, but then I remembered, so that's what it was.
Anyone else have questions on the motion to amend? Say none, would the clerk call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien,
Yes.
Alderman Clee,
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly,
Yes.
Alderman Dowd,
Yes.
Alderman Karen,
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons,
Yes.
Alderman Lopez,
Yes.
Alderman Tenza,
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou,
Yes.
Alderman Jettie,
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt,
Yes.
Alderman Laws,
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver,
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright,
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
and that motion carries. Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion, a final passage as amended by roll call.
Motion is for final passage of resolution R20-29 as amended. Discussion on that motion.
I would like to speak on it, please.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yep. So just a quick overview for everyone who was unable to be or watch our Human Affairs Committee. Basically, this is pulling some funds and pulling it into a larger COVID response fund. We got money from the federal government, and we also pulled some leftover money from last year. The committee and also Director Marchant and Carrie Skina have done a great job of reaching out to our current CDBG applicants and talking to them. We think that their potential plans may be shifting due to what's going on with COVID. And so this creates a fund, but doesn't, take take too much of a burden on what we will be allocating in a couple of months once all this is over.
Further discussion? Being none, the motion is for final passage as amended. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez. Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
15 yeas and 0 nays.
And resolution 2029 is duly adopted as amended.
Madam President,
Alderman Jettie.
did we skip over R20-020?
No, that's the one that I motioned.
No.
We voted on that.
Yes. Yep.
Madam Clerk, we voted on that, right?
We
Right.
did.
That was the one
We
I
did.
made the motion. I made the motion on that.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Thank you,
I
Alderman.
know there were two related to the Transit Authority, and
Mhm.
one was money from the towns, and one was money from the
Or grant,
right, the Federal Transportation Authority.
right.
And okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Unfinished business ordinances.
There is none.
Tabled business.
None.
New business resolutions.
First reading of Resolution R2030 relative to the transfer of $10,000 within Department 156 Emergency Management from account 54407 Software Maintenance to account 51300 Payroll Overtime.
Additional sponsors. Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Clee, Alderman Dowd. If anyone else has their hand up, I can't see it.
Harriet Gathright.
Alderman Harriet Gathright. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Review Committee.
First reading of Resolution R2031 relative to the acceptance and appropriation of $122,122 from the State of New Hampshire Department of Justice into Police Grant Activity 2020 Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding, CESF program.
Additional sponsors. Alderman Dowd, Alderman Clee, Alderman Tenza, Alderman O'Brien,
Alderman Schmidt.
Alderman Schmidt,
Harriet Gathright.
Alderman Harriet Gathright, Alderman Lopez. I think I got you already.
Alderman
And myself.
Alderman Karen.
Alderman Karen. Okay, given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Human Affairs Committee.
First reading of Resolution R2032, approving the cost items of a sidebar agreement between the Nashua Police Commission and the Nashua Police Patrolmen's Association and the Nashua Police Supervisors Association regarding vacation carryover.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for second reading of R20-032 by roll call, and I'd like to speak to it.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, we have Deputy Chief Testaverde here, and he can give us an overview. I've been working with the chief and the deputy chief on getting this very important legislation passed this evening because it's COVID related. Deputy Chief, would you please take over?
Yes, sir. Thank you. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you for having me. The current contracts for these two unions that you can carry over 5 vacation days into the next year up until May 1st. Once you get May 1st, it either goes into your bank for retirement or you forfeit the days. We currently have 58 employees in these two unions that have anywhere from 1 to 5 days that they're not using purposely because of the pandemic, and we greatly appreciate the fact that they're not just sitting home burning the days when we need them to come to work. So therefore, we don't want to penalize them for it. At the same time, we didn't want them to be able to carry it indefinitely, so we set an expiration date of October 1st.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Chief. This is truly fairness to the city and to the officers involved, so I ask that we pass this evening.
The motion is to suspend the rules. So did we already vote on that?
Not yet.
No.
Okay. Motion is to suspend the rules. Any further discussion on that? Alderman Lou. You're muted. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Do we at this point have discussion on the bill itself?
Yes, we will. We will.
I mean, do we do it before we decide to suspend the rules?
No.
Well, if you want to talk about it, we have to suspend the rules just to get it before us, so.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Motion is to suspend the rules. Further discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou. Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wiltshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
And that motion carries. Alderman Dowd.
Second reading.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Sue.
Thank you. Second reading of Resolution R2032, approving the cost items of sidebar agreements between the National Police Commission and the National Police Patrolmen's Association and the National Police Supervisors Association regarding vacation carryover.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R2032 by roll call, and I'd like to also speak to that again.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, these sidebars have been signed by both the unions and the police commissioners, and it was determined that it had to come to us for resolution since it has some cost impact, minor as it may be, but it again is so that the police officers aren't treated unfairly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So if I would ask that we pass this.
The motion is for final passage of Resolution 2032 by roll call discussion. Alderwoman Lou. You're muted, Alderman Lou.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I think that we should consider whether my understanding is that crime is down in Nashua. I haven't heard that the police department is under, COVID-19 has affected them. And I just know that vacation time is something that a lot of the public is being required to take right now. I just question why it's described as being treated unfairly to be asked to just follow the contract as written at a time when the department is not overtasked, and at a time when we're looking ahead to later in the year when people get out of their homes, and all of our services will be more heavily tasked at that time. And I feel that we should have a compromise of some type. I don't know why the police department waited until 2 days before the deadline to come to us and ask us to. I think Officer Testaverde said that May 1st is the deadline. So I just think so that we keep in mind that there will be things that we need to do to minimize the expense, or to address the expenses that we're experiencing, that perhaps requiring someone to take their vacation time is not unreasonable. Thank you.
Alderman
Madam
Lopez.
President,
Alderman
Could we have Deputy Chief Testaverde explain the urgency, or?
A deputy?
Thank you very much. To answer some of those questions, first of all, when the pandemic hit, everyone in the city, as you very well know, kind of went into high gear. And as the mayor stated before, this is still a 7-day-a-week process. For that reason, one of the very last, maybe number 97 on our list of things to do, was to go through the contract to see what items might be affected by the pandemic. After about a month or so, I was approached by some of the union members to just say, basically the way they framed it was, we understand you guys have a lot going on. We're sorry to bring this up, but there's several people that are going to lose the days. Do you want us to just start taking them? And I sat down with the chief and said, no, we don't want you to start taking them. We have been affected by the COVID-19. We've had, if you give me a moment, I could go into my desktop and try to pull it up, but I'm estimating at one time we had as many as 7 officers on quarantine. Right now we only have 2, but those keep shifting like the rest of the country into different pockets. In addition to that, we always need a minimum amount of officers on the street. So to ask officers to start taking time off, or officers right now are allowed to take time off. They are taking it a day here or a day there, but we don't want 58 people to all of a sudden start to try to take block week vacations. I know there's nowhere for them to go, but I don't want them to just sit at home and just for the sake of burning the time. When, hopefully soon, we get out of this pandemic, and to address your concern, Alderwoman, we have also in the contract, all 58 people can't take time off at the same time. It's limited to any 4 per shift, and there will never be a time where I would turn to anyone here and say, unfortunately, we have half the officers on the street right now because they're all off on vacation. We just wouldn't allow that to happen. So I didn't use the term unfair, or if I did, I apologize. This is just something I don't want to punish them, for lack of a better term, for doing exactly what I expect them to do during the time of crisis, and that's come into work every day and do their job, if that answered the question.
President Wiltshire.
Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I am going to absolutely be supporting this 100%. People have had, myself included, have had their vacations ruined by what's been going on. And in some cases, we've gotten our money back. Some people have gotten credit. Some people are out the entire expense, whatever they put forward. And, you know, a lot of these officers have young children and things like that. And, you know, it's just not fair to somebody to have this happen and then say to them, well, you know, sorry, but we're not going to give you your granted time off, and it is what it is. especially when there's nowhere to go, even if they wanted to. I mean, it's not like you can go to the beach or you can go to Florida, or everything's closed. So to me, this is one of those, we live in an exceptional time. And what I mean by that is we are making exceptional, we are making exceptions to rules that are steadfast in every single industry across the spectrum. So the city has to do that as well. And if that means that we have to allow for the police department employees to have extra time to be able to take their vacation without losing it, I don't see that as an issue. And I would even go so far as to say that if this continues and we're in to mid-June or whenever with the stay-at-home orders, that it probably would make sense for this to even come back to us. And I would certainly support it, depending on the situation and whether or not people had enough time, just based on the number of employees, to actually take their vacation. So I am in full support of this, and I hope that my colleagues will understand that, again, we are in exceptional times and we need to do exceptional things, and this is one of them.
Thanks, Alderman Clemmons. Alderman Lopez.
I can't agree with the statement that because crime is low, the police are under less pressure. Police are on the front lines and they're out working every day with people having no idea what their health conditions are or what their risk factors are going to be. And I think members of the board who may not be working directly with the public need to be really conscious of what that feels like, because police officers are choosing to go and serve the community knowing that they could contract COVID-19 from a person who might be disorderly, or from some parents who won't vacate a playground, or something that they handle in a very discreet, casual, and respectful manner, but they can bring home to their family and their loved ones a serious illness. I think that puts a huge amount of pressures on our police officer, and I think we need to recognize that. I also think that using vacation time as vacation time and not as a cost reduction mechanism is important. We need to leave that ability to them, because not to put too fine a point on it, but I will remind the board that before we had a global pandemic, we were struggling with first responder related suicide. And I do not think that situation is getting better, with unbelievable circumstances at play here, where the police are being asked to enforce historic measures that not everybody agrees with. We need our first responders, that includes police, to be able to help our community when it needs help the most. And I don't think we need to be distracting them by quibbling over details like this. I think their request is entirely reasonable.
Alderman Clay.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo Alderman Lopez's words. First responders are out there just doing their normal job, but as well as being there under these stressful circumstances. They're the first responders are right online. I know recently we had an incident here in Ward 3 where I won't go into the details of it, but someone was found no longer living. They're always one of the first ones right there, no matter what. I know suicides are on the rise, and of course, they're there for those. Just because crime isn't up doesn't mean that we shouldn't be doing this. So I do echo the last two speakers. Thank you.
Alderwoman Lou.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I don't mean this as a cost-cutting measure. I know that it's a very, very important job. I see it, though, as nobody else gets to decide that they're going to hold off their vacation until this is all over. And I just think that there's some benefit to to compromising because we're going to need a lot of staff when this is done. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion for final passage? Seeing none, I just wanted to weigh in on this. I too, I believe like Alderman Clemmons and Alderman Lopez and Alderman Clee that these are first responders. These are people we need right now. More than ever, we need our first responders out there. We can't be out there. We need to count on them to be there for us. And I appreciate everything they do. And to, delay 1 to 5 days for 58 people is more than we can afford to, not more than we can afford to do, but it's something we should do. Anyway, I get a little passionate about it, but I think we're asking a lot of our police department, our fire department, all of our first responders. And I think this is very minor in the scheme of things. And I believe we should pass this evening. So thank you. Anyone else? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Did you hear me?
I did not.
No.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
You have 14 yeas and 1 nay.
And that resolution 20-32 is declared duly adopted.
First reading of Resolution R 2033, authorizing the mayor to execute a confirmatory deed to Pennachuck Waterworks.
Additional sponsors? Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Clee, Alderman Dowd, and myself.
Harriet Gathright.
Alderman Harriet Gathright.
Alderman Cleaver.
Alderman Cleaver, thank you. Given its first reading, I'll assign this to the Committee on Infrastructure and the Planning Board.
First reading of Resolution R 2034, approving the cost items of sidebar agreements between the Nashua Board of Police Commissioners and the 5 Nashua Police Department unions regarding a police department recruiting incentive.
Additional sponsors? Alderman O'Brien.
Harriet Gathright.
Alderman Harry Gathright, Alderman Clee, and myself.
Alderman Cleaver.
Alderman Cleaver. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Review Committee. New business ordinances.
There is none.
Period for general public comment. There is none. Remarks by members of the board. Alderman Dowd.
Yes. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for helping on that sidebar. Sidebars with agreement between unions and their labor boards are extremely hard usually to get passed. In this case, both members of who signed it were in full agreement with it. And as was I when as the liaison for the Board of Aldermen to the Police Commission. The Police Commission signed off on it. So I'm very happy that we passed that. And I want to thank Deputy Chief Testaverde for being here this evening and providing his input. The other one, this other sidebar that will be addressed by the Budget Committee. So it's nothing that has to be imminently done. It has to do with recruiting as a really minor financial impact, but we'll be addressing that in budget.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes, I want to acknowledge this past weekend, a group from the Gate City Striders, which is the running club in Nashua, showed up in Ward 5 Main Dunstable Road and Ridge Road, and and obeying social distancing, they gathered I don't know how many bags of trash from along the roadway. They filled up a flatbed trailer with it, and I want to thank them for doing that. And I also want to acknowledge that the Nashua Rotary Club, this coming Saturday, a group maintaining social distancing is going to, a group of members of the Rotary Club are going to clean up the Rotary Common, which is the park on Main Street near Salmon Brook, where Salmon Brook crosses Main Street. So my hat's off to both of those groups. Thank you.
Welcome. Alderman Lopez.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody who donated to the Involved Impacts fundraiser to purchase N95 masks to donate to first responders. I really want to thank all of the performers and musicians and entertainers that donated their time throughout April to do the online open mic thing, because I think people have been really struggling with the social distancing. People have been feeling very isolated, and their routine was really abruptly terminated, where they may be used to seeing their favorite musicians or being able to go out on a Saturday night, and this kind of gave them something to work with, some familiar faces. So I wanted to thank all of them for contributing their time. I wanted to thank the mayor for guest starring in our final event as well. And then on a more somber note, I wanted to express my condolences to the family and friends of Bill Nelson. I know Paul Shea and Julie Shea are feeling his loss deeply. My thoughts are with
Alderman Kelly. Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to thank everyone for their support of the coronavirus aid fund and getting that together. I know that it'll be critical for nonprofits and small business owners in Nashua as we try to get some aid to them as they're struggling through this as well. And I wanted to, I feel like a broken record, but every time we get together, I just want to say thank you to our frontline workers, everybody at City Hall that's keeping things going. There's so much work that is going into, and people are working overtime on all fronts. So I really appreciate that. And we have a great group of nonprofits here in Nashua. I am personally connected and know what's going on with United Way and the Soup Kitchen, but I know there are a lot of other organizations that are stepping up during this time. So thank you for that, and together we'll get through it.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to say a couple things. I feel much like Alderwoman Kelly, is that we sound like a broken record saying thank you, but I don't think we can say thank you enough. And it truly is heartfelt, and I do believe that everybody understands it, and it's from the person that's cleaning the buildings, to our grocery store workers, to our frontliners, to our healthcare facility, and so on. I also wanted to add that I had a conversation with Director Bagley last night, and one of the things in our conversation that came up was she asked me if I had Netflix. And I said, yes, I do. And she said, there's a great series called Coronavirus. It's 30 minutes, and they're going to be doing a few of them. I watched the first episode, which is the only one available, and it was phenomenal. It explained coronavirus, how that there's just not the three of SARS, MERS, and the one we're living through now. It explains that there's 7 of them, and it starts very small. It explains exactly what a virus is, and it actually took away, as scary as all this is, it took away some of the fear of understanding that we're really on the right track. And I think a lot of people, it's called coronavirus something. I forget what the last word is, but if you just, anybody who has Netflix, if you just search for coronavirus, I think it really will be very, very helpful. And I want to say that we really are all in this together. There's no one person that would not be willing to reach out and help. I know from this board, I see it constantly. So I want to say thank you to all of you too. Thank you.
Alderman Dowd, and then, Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on one thing from the police commissioner's meeting yesterday, and Deputy Chief Testaverde and back this up. The police department in Nashua just went under a new accreditation, the Commission for Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. I hope I have that right from them acronym, but they got almost, if not a perfect score, almost a perfect score. And the people that did the inspections were so impressed by the Nashua Police Department and their process and procedures that they took some of those back to incorporate into inspections of other departments. So the department got a certificate of appreciation for a job well done, and I think that goes a long way to showing exactly how great a police department we have here in the city of Nashua. So my thanks to the chief and his deputies and all of the officers of the Nashua Police Department.
Alderwoman Lou?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just wanted to comment that it's a little disappointing to me that many of my colleagues have made it clear that that staffing is off limits, and I just have a feeling that we have an opportunity to share ideas and feelings with regard to the financial situation that we will possibly be in, and to not to share ideas about these things is just disappointing to me. Rather than have a full discussion about it, just to I would rather go into like the future decision-making process with the benefit of the board's input, as well as some time to reflect it and discuss it with, people in my ward. And I know one of our residents has asked for discussion among us about how this situation is currently affecting revenues and expenses, and I don't see that, that discussion among us at these meetings, and I too think it's disappointing. I'm sure there are a lot of people that watch that would like to know what we're thinking about how we can address the shortages that the states have been predicting we'll have. So I hope that we can be more open-minded and talk about among ourselves about these ideas, and rather than shut down, come to these meetings with our mindset already. Thank you.
Madam President, as a point of personal privilege, can I clarify that I don't appreciate having my intentions visited by other aldermen?
Yes.
I don't consider staffing to be off limits, and I didn't make up my mind before this at all. And it falls short of our decorum to be making observations about what other aldermen's intentions might be.
I agree.
Alderman Cleaver, please.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes, I would like to take this opportunity to commend and thank the mayor for an outstanding job, and the entire administration for an outstanding job under very, very, very difficult circumstances. I think we can be very proud of our city's leadership and what we've been able to accomplish despite all the hurdles and difficulties. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I agree, Alderman Cleaver. Thank you for that. Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. I happened to notice today on Facebook, one of my former organizations being on the fire department, National Firefighters Local 789, has hit its 76th year of being in existence. I wish I knew of it last year to wish them a happy 75th, but we'll do it on the 76th. However, they're one of our very important first responders that have stepped to the plate in many different ways, such as the police and public health and our nurses and our doctors from two wonderful hospitals. I know Local 789 has done a lot for the community, whether it be at Christmas time, passing out Christmas baskets to the needy, to even their program of helping the MDA, and also working to supply coats for some disadvantaged children via the school system. So I hope they continue with their great community work. Granted, at times between the city and union may get sometimes adversarial, but we still like them and appreciate the work that they do, putting out the firefighters and saving lives. And thank you for the indulgence to allow them to be recognized. Thank you.
You bet.
Madam President?
Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you. First, I just want to address some things that were said in regards to discussing the finances of the city. For any alderman who wants to discuss the finances of the city, I would recommend that they come to the Budget Review Committee's meetings because that's where we are discussing next year's budget. And that is the appropriate place to ask questions and do the due diligence where it comes to deciding how we are going to move forward next year in a cohesive manner. In addition to that, it's incumbent upon each one of us as an alderman to do our own work and to make sure that we ourselves understand what is going on in the city. It is not up to other aldermen to inform us of different things. And that has been something that, my mentor, Brian McCarthy, instilled in me. Because he told me, if you have a question, ask it. If you need to know something, go to somebody and ask it. The questions are not going to be answered by not asking the questions. So I'd just like to state that because I think that some have the expectation that we're going to get an answer for everything, and the thing is that unless you ask the question, you won't get the answer. And then lastly, I just want to reiterate, and I said this at the last meeting, the last full meeting, we need to make sure that we're listening to our local leaders here, Governor Sununu, Mayor Donchis, and not necessarily what's coming out of Washington, D.C. Our local leaders have done a superb job in handling the COVID-19 crisis, particularly here in Nashua. Mayor Donchis and his team have done outstanding work, and as a result of that, I think Nashua has come out for the better because of it. So I want to just thank him and the administration there. I want to thank Governor Sununu for his leadership. I also want to thank all of our first responders who are out there every day doing a tough job that, they signed up to do, but I don't think ever might have crossed their mind that they would be dealing with the types of situations that we're in now. So thank you, all of you, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Alderman Clemmons.
Madam President?
Alderman Schmidt.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that although I didn't have a lot of time with Alderman McCarthy as my mentor, he did say exactly as Alderman Clemmons just said. He taught us how to do our research, to find the data for ourselves, to actually come to these meetings with information, and it really does make things work better, and we work well together that way. Pardon me, I think I've screwed up my camera. The other thing I wanted to tell you was that today, April 28th, is Workers' Memorial Day. Last year in New Hampshire, 6 workers died at the job, and today's the day to remember the fallen, to honor their work, and to honor their lives. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Alderwoman Lou, did you want to speak again? No? Okay. Have I missed anyone? Okay. Committee announcements. Alderman Dowd.
Tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, we have a WebEx meeting on budget, and we will be discussing the police department's budget. So I'm sure we'll see Deputy Chief Testaverde and Chief Kerrigan tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. Thank
Tomorrow
you.
night.
Okay. Anyone else? Committee announcements? Seeing none, Alderman O'Brien.
Motion to adjourn. By roll call.
The motion is to adjourn. Seeing no discussion, any discussion? No discussion, right?
No discussion.
No discussion. Okay. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Karen.
Yeah.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Tenza.
Yes.
Alderwoman Lou.
Yes.
Alderman Jettie.
Yes.
Alderman Schmidt.
Yes.
Alderman Laws.
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
Yes.
Alderman Harry Gathright. Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
You have 15 yeas and 0 nays.
We are adjourned at 9:10 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.